A couple months ago, I was at this gas station putting gas in my vehicle. This particular gas station also sold tires, car tires and truck tires. As I'm pumping gas in my car, I noticed this father and his young son. Son was probably about seven years old. They walk out of the gas station. What they were wearing caught my eye. The dad had on a white t-shirt, blue jeans, and brand new tan work boots. His little boy had on a white t-shirt, blue jeans, and brand new tan work boots. They're standing in front of one of the bays at this tire place. And the little boy is right up against the left leg of his father. So I'm just watching these two, and as they're standing there, the dad put his hands in his pocket. And within a second, the son put his hands in his pocket. Then I'm just watching these two, and I'm mesmerized by this little boy trying to be like his dad. And about 20 seconds go by, and the dad takes his hands out of his pocket, and he folds his hands like this. Within about a second, the little boy takes his hands out of his pocket, and he folds his hands like this. And then I'm just watching those two, and the dad decided to spit. When the dad spit, it went out about 5 feet and landed on a parking lot. The little boy decided to spit, but he didn't have the strength or the power. And when he spit, it landed on his chin and then went on his t-shirt. And he looked down at his t-shirt and he started to wipe it in. And I thought to myself, that father has himself one very difficult job in life. Because that dad has this little boy who wants to follow and emulate everything his father does. I said to myself, I'm not sure if the dad noticed what was going on, but everything the dad does and every word the dad speaks, that son's going to follow. I would have to say the most difficult job in the world is not only being that father, but every parent that we have at Mass tonight, every parent, godparent, grandparent, any teacher, when you are trying to educate someone who is younger, your son or your daughter, you never know when those eyes are watching you to repeat what you do, and those ears are listening to repeat what you say. Now that's the key point of today's gospel reading. The gospel comes out of the 23rd chapter of Matthew, verses 1 to 12. And in those verses, Jesus Christ is going to tell a group of people, hey, do me a favor. Don't do what the scribes and the Pharisees do. So let's take a look at verse 1, the 23rd chapter of Matthew. It says there in verse 1, Jesus spoke to the crowds and his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees have taken their seat on the chair of Moses. Now Jesus is talking to his disciples and other people who probably want to become one of his disciples. He's telling them the scribes and Pharisees have taken the seat in the chair of Moses. That means what? They are teachers. They're having a teaching position. They are tenured teachers, people going to listen to what the scribes and the Pharisees do. But Jesus is going to tell us, hopefully they listen to what they do, they don't follow what they do. Let's take a look at verse 2. Verse 2, Jesus says this, therefore, do and observe all things whatsoever they tell you, but do not follow the example. Let's stop right there. We'll pick up the rest in a moment, although you already read it. Do not follow their example. Here's what's going on. The scribes. The word scribe means to write. Now, the scribes, back in biblical days, there weren't copy machines, and if you wanted a copy of the Bible, someone had to make and write copies of the Bible. The scribes spent their entire life making copies of the Bible. That's how they got their name scribe, which means to write. They knew exactly what the Bible said. They can quote it, verse, line, chapter. They knew comma, they knew period. They knew exactly what it said, but they didn't know what it meant. Therefore, they did not live what the Bible suggested. Now, the Pharisees were very similar to the scribes. The Pharisees spent their entire life studying the Bible. They loved to quote the Bible against someone. If they saw you doing something that wasn't nice, they'd quote you the Bible. A lot of people love to do that today. Just run around quoting the Bible. The trouble with the Pharisees is they knew exactly what the Bible said. They knew every word, every verse, every comma, every period. They knew what it said, but they had no idea what it meant. Therefore, they themselves did not live what the Bible suggested. Now then, Jesus Christ continues. He tells the people, do whatever they tell you, but do not follow their example. And this is the key point. For they preach, but they do not practice. They preach, but they don't practice. Therefore, if you're following the scribes and the Pharisees, and they're going to preach, but don't do what they do because it's going to be the opposite of what they should be doing. I thought to myself, that dad at that gas station, when he tells his son, it's important to go to Mass every Sunday if they're Catholics. I don't know anything about their history. But if the dad tells his little boy, son, it's important to go to Mass on Sunday, what must that father do? Go to Mass every Sunday. If you as a parent, as a teacher, as a grandparent, if you tell your son or your daughter, it is not good to swear. Don't swear. Don't take God's name in vain. That's good direction. But you must do what at the same time? Not swear. Because if your son, your daughter, those tender young ears and those soft young eyes, if they hear one thing that you say and then you do the opposite, they're going to be confused. And they're going to say, what? Dad told me to go to church, but he doesn't, thus I don't have to. Mom told me never to swear, but she does, and I guess when I get older, it'll be okay. I just can't do it now because I'll get in trouble now, but I'll do it later. I ran across the little thesis. I want to share that with you tonight. This thesis was written by a young man graduating from college. And he wrote this to his parents. Now that he's got all the education he needs in life, and as he's now laying the foundation, what should be for him a bright future upon college graduation, he wrote this to his parents. What an honor his parents had to feel when they read what he wrote. Because they realized what? They did a good job. Now let's take a look at it. He writes this to his parents upon high school graduation. When you thought I wasn't looking, I saw you hang my first painting on the refrigerator, and I immediately wanted to paint another one. When you thought I wasn't looking, I saw you feed a stray cat, and I learned that it was good to be kind to animals. When you thought I wasn't looking, I saw you make my favorite cake for me. I learned that the little things can be the special things in life. When you thought I wasn't looking, I heard you say a prayer, and I knew there is a God, and I could always talk to. I learned to trust in God. When you thought I wasn't looking, I saw you make a meal and take it to a friend who was sick, and I learned that we all have to help take care of each other. When you thought I wasn't looking, I saw you give of your time and money to help people who had nothing. And I learned that those who have something should give to those who don't. When you thought I wasn't looking, I saw you take care of our house and everyone in it. I learned that we have to take care of what we are given. When you thought I wasn't looking, I saw how you handled your responsibilities even when you didn't feel good. Now, I learned that I would have to be just as responsible when I grow up. When you thought I wasn't looking, I saw tears come from your eyes. I learned that sometimes things hurt, but it's all right to cry. When you thought I wasn't looking, I saw that you cared for and helped all those around you. I wanted to be everything that I could be. When you thought I wasn't looking, I wanted to say thanks for all the things I saw you do when you thought I wasn't looking, because you practiced what I preach. Isn't that powerful? When that mother and that father received this thesis from their son, they had to be so proud. They had to say that we did things right and well. That's what got Jesus upset in today's gospel ring with the scribes and Pharisees, because they never preached what they practiced. If you're a parent here tonight, probably most of you are, what an incredible job you have. The type of world we have tomorrow is predicated upon the type of parents we have today. It is very important what Jesus wants us to learn. And this is for all of us here tonight, not just if you're a parent. But if you're a priest, you're a teacher, whatever you are in life, a Christian, it is very important to practice what you preach. I would ask our beautiful family to come.